Welcome to Frost and Sullivan's Growth Podcast. In today's episode, we are looking at how India's two-wheeler rental industry is turning gig economy expansion, electrification, and rising urban ownership costs into one of the country's most active growth opportunities. Vehicle ownership is getting more expensive, last-mile delivery demand keeps climbing, and younger consumers are leaning into asset-light lifestyles. Together, these forces are pulling a historically informal industry toward an organized, technology driven ecosystem. What is shaping this transformation, and where are the biggest growth opportunities emerging? Let's find out. Why is India's two wheeler rental industry becoming a growth priority? Globally, two wheeler demand keeps climbing, with South Asia accounting for more than a third of it. But the more compelling story is playing out inside India's rental segment specifically. Urban mobility pressures, gig economy expansion, and electrification are converging at the same time, and that convergence is doing something the industry has not seen before. It is pushing rental out of the informal economy and into an organized, digitally managed business. Established two-wheeler manufacturers are noticing too. Several are stepping into battery swapping consortiums and forging alliances with EV startups, a clear signal that the road ahead runs electric, even for players who built their business on combustion engines. What strategic imperatives are shaping competitive advantage? Three imperatives stand out. Customer value chain compression is removing the middleman from the rental experience. App-based access, QR unlocking, live GPS tracking, and instant digital payments are putting vehicles directly in consumers' hands, while giving operators leaner, more efficient fleets to run. Transformative megatrends are expanding who actually needs rental in the first place. Rising urban living costs and a cultural shift toward asset-light living are broadening consumer demand, while quick commerce and hyperlocal delivery are adding an entire commercial demand layer growing faster than personal use. And competitive intensity is rising on two fronts at once. Organized platforms are investing in technology and EV integration, while local, unorganized operators continue holding ground on price and accessibility. That gap is widening, and organized players are actively working to consolidate the informal layer. Which of these imperatives is your organization best positioned to act on first? What barriers are standing in the way of scale? Scaling across India is not simple. The industry runs across a patchwork of local operators and organized platforms with no consistent pricing, service quality, or safety standards, and that inconsistency is slowing consumer trust in rental as a dependable mobility category. Regulation adds another layer of friction. State-level permit rules and interstate usage restrictions are complicating fleet deployment across city boundaries. GST-related challenges continue pressuring margins for organized operators, and vehicle ownership still carries social weight in smaller cities, where rental is sometimes seen as a temporary stand-in rather than a real alternative. Is your organization building the operational resilience to move through this fragmented landscape without losing momentum? Where are the biggest growth opportunities emerging? Two opportunities are standing out clearly. Tier 2 and 3 city expansion is opening up fast. Rising UPI adoption, smartphone penetration, and last-mile delivery networks are making app-first rental models viable well beyond the metros. And these cities also carry lighter competitive intensity and lower infrastructure requirements for platforms moving early. Electric two-wheeler fleet adoption is the second. Falling battery costs, government subsidies, and expanding battery swap infrastructure are making E2W fleets financially compelling, while partnerships with e-commerce platforms and OEMs are letting operators scale without heavy upfront capital. What will separate industry leaders from the rest? Platforms pulling ahead in this industry share one pattern. They are moving early. Early into EVs, early into smaller cities, and early into partnerships with the gig workers keeping last-mile delivery running. That combination of fleet, geographic reach, and workforce relationships is proving far harder to copy than any single piece of technology. The economics are moving toward organized, EV-integrated operators, and the companies aligning their investments with that shift now are building an advantage that compounds through the decade. Which of these growth opportunities aligns most closely with your organization's expansion plans? Thanks for joining us on Frost and Sullivan's Growth Podcast. As India's two-wheeler rental industry continues moving toward organized, technology-enabled, and electric-first models, the operators building fleet strength, geographic reach, and gig economy partnerships today will be the ones setting the pace for the industry tomorrow. For access to our research, competitive benchmarking, and best practice frameworks, head over to frost.com or email hello@frost.com. We'll be back soon with more conversations exploring the technologies, strategic imperatives, and growth opportunities shaping industries around the world.